Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your love and relationship reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bulls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra, love and relationships. Libra, love and relationships. Libra, love and relationships. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. Excuse me. Fantastic. I'm just going to move this down just a little bit so you all can see better. Now let's look at the chakra energy for this time. This is going to be where we need to pay a little bit of attention, where we're going to be a little bit sensitive, a little bit lacking, okay, even a little bit wounded during this time. So let's look at this. Libra, love and relationships. Libra, love and relationships. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Fantastic. And then finally, we have the energy we need to be mindful of. Now, this can manifest itself in our lives in the way of people, ideas, things that we are reading, listening to. So it can work its way into our lives in a myriad of different ways. So let's see here. What is the energy that Libra needs to be mindful of? Love and relationships. What is the energy that Libra needs to be mindful of for love and relationships? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay, so let's look at the crown here. We have the Six of Wands. Things are moving forward in celebration, which is something we should be very happy about. And we're also learning how to celebrate ourselves, which is beautiful. The world is opening, which can be terrifying when it comes to relationships and love and what we want, but is also going to be really quite exhilarating. It's going to be like, I can move forward this way, can't I? I can go after this. There's more here than I realized. We then have the Page of Pentacles, which is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If we're born on the cusp with Virgo, there's going to be a lot of lessons coming to us from the side of our personality it's going to be very intrinsically important to us during this time. There's also a sense of, it can be a child, earth sign energy. It can be a child that teaches us a lot, or things that we have learned that come to us with almost childlike innocence during this time. And it's like, oh, this is what I want. This is where I'm headed. There can be that there's an opening for some of us. There's a victory if you are looking for it around pregnancy, around the world opening to you by taking on that new role. There can also be a prosperous relationship coming through and coming to you that is very new, and we have to kind of walk gently, even though we're going to want to kind of shout it from the rooftops. There's also, for those of us in a relationship and quite happy in it, there's a sense of learning something new about what we want, about our partners, about what we desire. And if we're simply happy being by ourselves, which I mean is awesome, there is a sense of learning how to celebrate the knowledge and the wisdom that is coming to us as we grow and evolve as souls. And the world isn't this place without meaning. It starts to become a very meaningful, very powerful place to exist in. The Ten of Pentacles is prosperity that lasts for generations. It's breaking stereotypes and trends, and really standing in ourselves and saying, but this is me. This is what I want. This is what I desire. This is the prosperity that is leading me forward. And it's wealth and it's brilliance. The Five of Wands, there's going to be a lot of conflict around this. And it's not necessarily going to be nice or easy or what we desire, but it is going to be where we are at this time. And there's a sense internally of, can I do this? Can I move forward this way? Do I get to have the love that I want in my life? Do I get to have the life that I want? And also there's a sense of, somebody trying to stop us, trying to say, you don't get to move forward like that. You don't get to be that person. You don't get to go after that dream. And at our root, the Five of Pentacles, it's a place of poverty. We are learning how to celebrate ourselves, how to move out of a poverty mindset that roots us and say, no, I'm worth more. No, I have more. No, there is more. And so here, it's really starting to open up the door, really starting to gain a greater understanding. Now, the chakra energy that comes in during this time is play. We're going to have a really hard time embracing our hearts, embracing what we love, embracing play and joy, because we're going to think, oh my gosh, there's so many things that I have to do, and there are so many people that need me, and there's so much going on. I can't be frivolous. The frivolous is going to matter so much during this time. The sense of just being able to sit down and laugh, just being able to embrace what we want, just being able to see joy and prosperity and power and brilliance coming in, just to be able to be us. That's going to be so intrinsically important. Opening up the heart chakra, even though we want to kind of cage it in and build walls around it and say, oh no, nobody in right now. I'm learning, I'm discovering. Spirit is saying, let people in as we are right now. Warts and all, as we're learning, as we're growing, as we're becoming more. And there's a sense here of letting the heart open. It brings us to the energy that we need to be mindful of, and it's the Queen of Wands. It's passionate, powerful, fiery energy that consumes. With one of my teachers in the tarot, when she was explaining the wands, she's like, listen, it's brilliant energy, it's passion, it's fire, but when it's wrong, when it's off its natural course, okay, or when it's embracing chaos or not being in alignment, it's sexual energy to its utmost. It's people who use sexual power as a weapon, who use the beauty of their bodies, who use the beauty of their words, who use the beauty of their fire, of their souls to kind of ensnare you in. And you think, oh my gosh, this is just intoxicating. I've never really met a person like you before. I've never been in this situation. I'm your whole entire world. You're my whole entire world. And it's like we build off of each other. And then we burn out. Because nobody can keep that pace going all the time. It depends on how skilled they are, how skilled you are, of keeping chaos going. How long it takes for it to burn out. But with the Queen of Wands, it's saying be very careful. Be very careful with being pulled in. If we're in a relationship and we're thinking the passion is gone, well, we have to make sure that the passion wasn't just this person's form of control. We have to make sure that the passion wasn't a form of distraction. And if we can say, oh no, it couldn't be, but then really get honest with it. Really get honest with how connected are we? How much do we know about that person? How much have they let us into their lives? How much have they shared with us? Or are there always one wall after another, one thing that they say, and you're like, oh, okay, I get that. And then they'll be talking about the same thing, but they'll say it differently, or they won't remember pretty much the lie that they told. And we're like, wait a minute, what the heck? Which one is true? If we call it out, they get mad at us. What the heck is your problem? Why do you always nitpick everything I say? Because it's deflection. And here, it's like, okay, be very mindful. Be very mindful of this. And if you were in a relationship with a person like this, that energy is coming forward. And it's like, they can be a million miles away. We might not have seen them in years, but there's something of like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm walking on pins and needles. I feel like I'm living on broken glass again. And I said I was never going to do this. I was never going to have to be in this situation. And that's where we start to shift towards the Six of Wands. And it's like, well, it's time to celebrate myself, which is really easily said and kind of hard to do. To be able to say, I like me, warts and all. I like me, doubts and fears and chaos and hurts and pains and all the negative things and everything in between. I like who I am. The Six of Wands is a celebration of self, is a way of being able to rule our lives not out of, sheer discipline and determination and focus and anger, but out of joy and compassion and success and realization that this is the life we have. And it's either I start living in my passion, I start letting myself shine forward, I start, stepping out of the gray that the world can ensnare us in. And the gray isn't necessarily bad. Without gray, you couldn't have shadowing in pictures. You couldn't have depth and dimension. But when all colors seem to be muted in gray, when everything seems like we're trudging through quicksand or, mud, it becomes exhausting. And here, it's like, why can't I let myself fly? Why can't I let myself celebrate me? Because as we start to do this, and as we start to break this chain, because this chain is very powerful, it's very intense. And even if it was a caregiver that we had that just absolutely manipulated us, it doesn't have to be in an abusive way, like, physically abusive. It can be mentally. I'll only be proud of you if you meet my unrealistic expectations. I'll only be proud of you if you surpass your sibling. I'll only be proud of you if you live the life that I wanted, but I was robbed from. So here, there is a sense of breaking patterns that have been around for way too long. And it starts to open up the world to us because we start to stand with our shoulders back and our head held high, which automatically, neurologically, starts to bring forward and create the serotonins within our body with more ferocity. It can change us, because if you ever watch somebody who was depressed, or notice when we ourselves are depressed, like, you kind of hunch in on yourself. It's hard to sit up straight. It's hard. It takes energy. Even if you're just like dog dead tired, it takes energy to sit up straight, to hold your head up, shoulders back. And at times it's more energy than we have. So here, it's really starting to celebrate ourselves and do the things that we need to be able to celebrate ourselves. That makes the world open. That lets us look at our place within the world, which doesn't have to be this Hollywood, glamorous, over-the-top place. It can be very calm. It can be very quiet. And it can be very lovely. But it doesn't have to be what everybody else expects. It's looking at the world and starting to see ourselves truly, openly, honestly, and beautifully. It's starting to say, there's more here. There's more here than I realized. There's more here than I knew. And I get to be a part of this. I get to be a part of my life. Because sometimes, especially in love and relationships, it can feel like we're bystanders. We're just looking at it and saying, well, what's going to happen? And how am I going to move forward like this? And, oh, what are we going to do? And, oh my gosh, that was so nice of this person to, to see the love that we have, or for my partner to show me this love, or am I going to meet somebody? Are they going to show interest in me? We have these constant questions going on. And there's a sense here of saying, stop it, time out. I get to embrace my world, my passion, my desire, what I want. And then we have the Page of Pentacles coming in. And for some of us, it is going to be a child born, it is going to be, or an idea born, or, something to that effect. It can even be, I know it's not the same, but it can be adopting a pet that winds up being an earth sign energy, right? So here, there is this sense of really grounding through responsibility. And that responsibility may differ where we are in our life path, but there's a real sense of that grounding in that responsibility, but also the looking at the world in a different sense. So much we judge the world off of looks, and, this is the unrealistic expectation. And we have these unrealistic expectations also in relationships. We get them through fairy tales. We now get them through porn, which has kind of, sort of, in a really perverse way, become a modern fairy tale of love, which is just wrong. And here, we we see things that cannot be achieved. There is never the perfect love. There is never the perfect partner. We have to understand each other's flaws. And so when we embrace the student of the earth, when we see ourselves as the student of the earth, and we see our partner, or we visualize the partner that we are to have as a student of the earth, the student of the soul, the student of what is desired, all of a sudden things start to open. We start to open. We start to see ourselves more clearly. We start to be more honest with ourselves. We start to understand where we're headed with more tenacity, with more ferocity, with more openness. And that's another thing that makes the world opening to us so much more right, so much more powerful, where it's like, oh, but this gets to be beautiful. Oh, but this gets to be more than I expected. And I'm learning so much. Like, the door is constantly open, and it moves us to the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is prosperity that lasts for generations. It's also breaking the generational curses. So when we look at relationships, and if you are like me, I remember looking at the relationships of my mom, my grandma, and my great-grandma. I knew them all really quite well. And I looked at their love story. They were all the oldest girls in their family. I'm the oldest girl in my family. And they didn't have the beautiful love stories like you see on television. My grandma had probably the best love story, but it was of mutual respect and understanding, and they had been married for so long, right? And I thought, that's what I'm destined for. Not a fairy tale, but a mediocre survival in love. The Ten of Pentacles is saying, why? Why does that have to be my story? Why does that have to be my truth? You will have ebbs and flows as you do in everything. But why do you think it's going to be a kind of just hold on because you have to? Just keep going because that's what's done. There's a sense with the Ten of Pentacles. When it comes in, it's the wisdom through the ages coming forward to be right where we are. And it doesn't have to be that it comes from who we are right now or from our family. You know, it can come from wise people along the way that connect with us. I remember when I was little, I had a tutor, and she was a nun, because I was severely dyslexic, and everybody was trying everything to get me to be able to read. And I remember just looking at the world she lived in, and it was this beautiful enclosed world with gorgeous gardens. And I thought, I want to be a nun. You know, this seems good. Like, everything about this is good and calm and quiet and beautiful. And I remember she looked at me and said, oh no, this isn't the light for you. You know, you'd be taken away from your family. You have to go wherever they send you. This isn't the life for you. And that sort of wisdom comes forward even now. If I think, oh, well, you know, taking vows, that would be an interesting thing to do. It's like, oh no, that life isn't for you. You know, it's finding our path. It's gaining our understanding. It's looking at things in a very real way in regards to love. Because our love and our relationships is not only our love and relationships in a sexual way or in a romantic way, but it's also our love and relationships with everybody we meet in this world. Our love and our relationship with divinity, with spirituality. There's a sense here of opening up the door to what we truly love and what we truly want, and it comes from the wisdom of the ages. And if we do not listen to the wisdom of the ages, we find ourselves in utter discord. Now, there is a sense here of prosperity that comes, Libra, and there is a sense of chaos that wants to just make it not, make it not be. So there is a bit of a battle, a bit of a need to understand, where is this chaos coming from? Now, this can also be fights, and oh my goodness, we think we're moving along, we're happy, we're gaining confidence, and then all of a sudden, this person comes. They can be the person that we're with, they can be, just a person maybe that we're interested in, and they start to beat us down. They start to say, well, what the heck makes you think you're so special? What the heck makes you think that you can have that love, that you can be treated that way? Who the heck do you think you are? The Five of Wands is that blindsided moment. It's like, seriously, why did you have to say that? Seriously, you knew I was sensitive about that, but you had to bring it up and make it into a joke, and now I just have to sit here at the table and smile and bear this? This can also be the memories of it. They start coming up late at night when you're laying and trying to go to bed. Why did I let them say that? Why did I just left that off? Why didn't I get mad? This is internal and external chaos. But the difference is that, first of all, we're warned. And second of all, we're embracing power, not chaos. So chaos does have its own power, yes, but we're embracing the power of ourselves. So to be able to kind of laugh it off and say, ha ha ha, not a big deal. That is a form of power. It's like, wow, look at you, you schmuck. Like you don't get to do that to me. I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna give one right back at you. May be an interesting car ride home, but it's worth it. There's also a sense here of being like, no, that's not funny. Like, no, I don't see the joke. It's taking the wind out of this person's sails. It's also reclaiming our power. Instead of thinking, wow, I should have said that in the moment, 5 years ago when the person made me feel like utter misery. I should have been able to be bolder and stronger. No. You were exactly where you needed to be at that moment. Even if at that moment it felt like the worst place in the whole entire world. Because what it did is it made you stronger. It made you wiser. It made you fiercer. It changed the countenance of your being, the countenance of your face. The very essence of you starts to change when we're faced with adversity. And either we crumble and we rebuild, or we just stay crumbled. And this is showing us a fire. Now, this is moving us from a poverty mentality into a mentality of, wait a minute, what the heck? I get to have wealth and riches and gold. I get to be prosperous within my relationships, within my life, within what I love, within what I need, within my way forward. I get to open up that door. And I get to call me into greatness, into more than I had thought I could be, and into what I seriously want from my life. There's a sense here with the poverty mentality of the Five of Pentacles. It's like, well, I just can't. I always have to be on the outside. There's always going to be the sense of me not connecting. And it's like, no, there gets to be more. Beauty and understanding and honor and truth. There gets to be more. There gets to be an opening of the door. The poverty mentality denies us. It mutes us. It takes away our force and our fire. And that's not okay. And it's going to be something we fight during this time, to have the prosperity that we want. Because the energy comes in and it says, you're not worthy. It's the person from our childhood, it's the failed relationship, it's the hurt, it's the pain that says, you don't get to have what it is that you greatly want. And we think, you know what, you're right. You're right. I messed up. It's been too long. I'm too old. I'm too this. I'm too that. I don't get to. Maybe it's for everybody else. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I really have nothing to offer. And if those things that I just said ring true to you in one way or another, stop and say why. Why is it in a world where more people are ignorant than aren't, that you are looking at yourself and finding yourself wanted when you are on a journey to embrace the very best aspect of who you are? It's time to stop. It's time to let love in. It's time to let prosperity in. And it first starts with the love in the relationship that we have for ourselves, that we have with our God, our divinity, our universe, that we connect with play and laughter and joy. Let's see our spirit message. Libra, angels and spirit guides, love and relationships. Libra. Oh, goodness, I didn't turn it over. There we go. And here is blessed. We are blessed. Blessed and cared for and nourished and cradled. We are blessed, even if we don't see it. During this time, to connect with that blessing is the astounding thing. The spirit animal message. Libra, love and relationships. Libra, love and relationships, angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly, guide this reading. And show me clearly. The koala spirit. Spirit has a plan. Spirit has a plan. There is a connection, a saving grace. We're not alone. There is a plan. No, it helps. It soothes things a bit. The subconscious spirit animal message is the frog spirit. Clear out the clutter. Now, when I was younger, the frog spirit was an acronym, fully rely on God. Clear out the clutter and rely on what matters. Lead yourself forward and be led forward to the love that is deserved, the love that enlightens and brightens your life. You'll see, because it starts to change your energy vibration, you'll see that either the person that you're with starts to rise with you or you start to drift. It's interesting to watch, if not sometimes a bit sad. And then let's look at the subconscious spirit message. It's gratitude. Gratitude for the journey that we've been on. Gratitude for the mysteries coming to light. Gratitude for the way forward. It leads us then to our subconscious chakra message, which is visualization. This is the third eye chakra. So often we laugh at visualization because, what the heck, you imagine it and all of a sudden you get to live it, right? And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Here's the thing. It does work. Not in the way that we think it does, not in the way that we want it to. When we visualize, when we take our dreams and we hold on to them, we make pathways in our mind. Now, it depends if we also negate that dream. If we say, oh, I really wish I, could do this or could do that, and then think, yeah, but, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not talented enough, or, I'm not pretty enough, so I can't have that relationship, I can't have that love. So we just negated the dream, right? But if we visualize something and believe it with all our heart and soul and see it and live it and act it, act it out in our mind. Us owning that business, us, being in love, us, standing tall and feeling valued and standing next to the perfect person, that person that just makes us feel like we're a superhero, right? It starts to change things. It starts to change us because we've seen within our mind that we can do it. So a part of our head, the part that doesn't know the difference between make-believe and reality, says, you already did. What are you afraid about? You already did. Go after it. So the visualization, the taking time to really focus on what we want and desire, but also to understand what is holding us back. That's so important. And it comes when we visualize. When we visualize and we are visualizing in meditation, we're saying, this is what I want. And then letting spirit guide us, saying, this is what I want. And just listening to what comes up in our mind when divinity starts talking and saying, yes, but you don't think your voice matters. Yes, but you're afraid to give a part of yourself. Yes, but. And it's like, all right, rude. Rude to be so honest, spirit. But intrinsically helpful. It moves us then to our subconscious person message, which is the star card, wishes. When somebody comes in offering the world, be very mindful of the cost. Yeah, that's what Spirit's saying. Subconscious tarot message. This is the 9 of Swords. Nightmares, fears. So often in love, and I cannot tell you how many times I've heard this, especially with women, sometimes with men, where they say, it was time. Like I was running out of time. And so I settled. With the 9 of Swords, this is fear. This is nightmares and fears and doubts and worry. And it's saying, okay, I see you, fear. I see you, doubt. I understand you. But you don't get to rule me. You don't get to be the catalyst for me making intrinsically powerful decisions in my life. Subconsciously, we're fighting the fear. Subconsciously, the fear wants to pull us in and say, oh yeah, but remember, you're running out of time. Oh yeah, but remember, the clock is ticking. Remember. And it's like, shut up. I'm living my life the way I need to. And here's the thing. When we get into that place where we think, I have to meet somebody because I'm running out of time, we will meet a person with that same energy, with thinking, I'm running out of time, I have to meet somebody. So we come together out of desperation and we cling to each other because it's like, oh, thank goodness, I found you. I thought I never was. And what happens is that pain binds us for a while, or that fear binds us for a while. But as it falls away and as life takes over, we realize that we don't have what we really wanted. So the question is, would we take 20 years or 30 years or 40 years or 50 years or more with a person who we're okay with? It's good. Or, I wouldn't do it again, but I'm here now. Or would we take 5 years with a person who we just absolutely adore, who sees us for who we are, who loves us for what we say and what we think and what we desire? And if we're in a relationship and we fear that this is as good as it gets, when we start working on ourselves and building up that energy, either the person stands with us and rises, either we start practicing Karetsa and we find a whole new level to love and intimacy, or we find that maybe the chapter closes. And you know what? As much as that's not something that we desire doing, sometimes an end is the only way forward. But you'll be surprised, for so many of you, how many rise, how many come along for the journey who think, wow, I never thought I could have a love like this, a passion like this, a power like this. Seriously, check out Karetsa, guys. It's fun. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we release the paupers mentality and we face our fears. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra.